Of Prep Talk as Jackson Prep continues to win football games and head to Lamar this Friday night to take on the Raiders down there at Lamar, and should be a good football game. Certainly hope that you make the trip down I-20 and catch the Jackson Prep Patriots as they take on Lamar. Of course, the Prep Talk show is used to talk to some of the coaches. Coach Matt Butts is here with us tonight. We'll also have Coach Romano here. Matt, let's just kind of cut to the chase here and ask you, how long does it take a coaching staff that's already here to either buy into the system of a new coach or understand the new system of a new coach?
Well, the good thing with us this year is with Coach Goodwin. He just came in and kind of sat down with us and told us kind of what his philosophy was, and he's really given us a lot of reign to be coaches this year. And it's been a great transition to me so far.
Now, you've had to make two transitions, that transition and also the actual kids that you're coaching, the positions.
Yes, sir. So last year I coached inside linebackers, and this year I'm coaching defensive backs. And, hey, it's been a lot of fun. Get to work with different kids every year and got a good group of defensive backs. A lot of fun to work with, very coachable, and what's exciting is those kids want to just get better and better. And, that's a lot of fun and very rewarding as a coach when you get to work with
absolutely.
kids like
that. Here at Prep, there is a problem that comes up, and that is that you have a lot of defensive backs, and they all want playing time, as they should.
Sure.
So how do you balance? You got this group of kids, and you know that two of them right now could start here and some other places, but you've got a group that's coming on. How do you balance that?
Well, one thing that kind of helps a little bit is that we're pretty much a two-platoon team as far as offense and defense. So we got some guys that just play wide receiver, and normally your wide receivers and defensive backs are kind of interchangeable.
Like Thaxton and Jeffrey Ince.
Exactly, and we are very deep in the secondary right now. That's a great problem to have. And you do your best to get kids reps whenever, the opportunity presents itself with the score and things like that. And for the most part, especially the first two games, I think all of our defensive backs got at least a rep. Sometimes those 35, that 35 point rule, sometimes you kind of hate it. You understand the reason why they have the rule, but, it does kind of limit the number of reps that some of you guys get. But they get a lot of good reps in practice.
No shortage of those.
There's no shortage of reps in practice, and everything's on film, and we're always watching that. And you'll be surprised every year you're going to have a couple of guys that maybe started off just scout team warriors that are going to end up playing in some key moments in a ball game for you.
And do you, if it's still the same as it was when I was playing, you earn that playing time by being on special teams.
Absolutely, and our guys, we put a big emphasis on special teams this year with this football team. I think our special teams have helped us to be very, very successful. I think special teams was one of the bigger differences in the ball game last Friday night.
Yes.
Being
able to flip the field.
Being able to flip the field, and I know we missed a PAT and extra point, but when we had opportunities later, we were perfect, and so you got to be good at special teams, and you got to just keep practicing and working hard. And our guys do that; they do a good job with that.
Coach, I know it seems like Calvin Coolidge was president when I was playing, but it wasn't that long ago. I was a wide receiver, and we were always told, as a wide receiver, we had the advantage because we knew where we were going, especially on a wet field, and that defensive back doesn't know. So knowing that as a defensive back coach, how do you prepare your kids to be ready for whatever that wide receiver is going to do?
Well, so a lot of footwork drills. Coach Eklund, he's coaching safeties, I'm coaching corners, and we're doing a lot of footwork drills with those guys, being able to transition in and out of their breaks. We like to play a lot of man coverage here at times, and to play man coverage, you got to be able to press and get a good jam and run with them. And hey, it's a lot of work. Yesterday we ran about, I think I counted on the practice film, 36 just individual reps of one-on-one. Now, it wasn't just one guy going, but
rotating in and
out in a 5-minute, 10-minute period. But we try to do as many one-on-one drills as we can, footwork drills with them. And then just covering routes in practice that we know we're going to run. We know we're going down to Lamar. We know it's probably going to be wet.
Yes. Slick.
And slick. So yesterday, as rightfully we should have been, we were out on the practice field, practiced on the grass, getting used to it. And the cool thing is that it did kind of start to rain on us in just the last few minutes of practice. So it's just something you got to continuously work.
What is the cleat difference between Sprint turf and what we're going to see Friday night?
You know what? Most of our kids pretty much play with the same cleat one all year long, whether it's on grass or turf. And a big reason is that there's actually a really bad cleat shortage. Cleats are hard to come by right now.
Really? And you're not talking about supply chain on this, are we?
Hey, listen, helmets are hard to come by. Cleats are hard to come by. Football equipment has really been tough to come by the last 2 years.
Gosh, that would, you got to have that equipment to make sure that your kids are protected. I would see that as being one of the top of the list problems for Will Crosby as an AD to try to get everything in he needs.
Well, I'm telling you, I handle most of the equipment issues with our football team, and you can't find a helmet right now, and not a Rydell helmet, not really a Schutt helmet. And as a matter of fact, they're saying that we better order them in January for the 2023 season, or we may be in the same.
Why is this? Are they not making enough of them?
No, when COVID hit and plants started to shut down, and then you started having some just supply chain issues with shipping and different things like that, and they just fell behind. And
maybe a lot of those people didn't want to go back to work after that.
We're very fortunate because our Rydell representative actually came by in January of this for getting ready for the. And he was like, guys, whatever you want, we got to order now, or I can't guarantee you that you have any. And I know that that's true because we had a situation with a junior high athlete who needed a specific size helmet. And I called the Rydell guy and said, hey, I just need one. And he's like, I don't have one for you.
Wow.
And so for him to say no to Jackson, now he ended up finding one that was it was a reconditioned helmet. It's safe. But that's just how bad the supply chain issue has been.
That's we're not going to get into politics here.
I got you.
Let's get into the fact that we're going to see in the next 3 or 4 weeks games in a row of teams that like to throw the football and that establish that pass, and then they use the run to kind of off balance you. But they're going to throw the football a lot. So you say we have depth. Do we have depth at the corners?
We have depth at the corners. We have depth at safety. Probably have more depth at corner than we do any other position.
Why is that? Are those converted wide receivers or?
No, it's just it's a little bit probably harder to play safety sometimes because you really have to be able to see the field.
Yeah.
And at corner, a lot of times, especially if you're playing man, and our safeties are pretty good, I think, at playing man. Fortunately, we haven't had to play just a ton of it yet.
Right.
I'm sure that at some point in the season, we'll play a little bit more man, so we could.
I know one game you'll have to
bring some, but I don't know. I think it zone defense for a corner is a little bit easier, I think, than this because safety really has to be able to see all kinds of field.
And you're getting good play out of Josh White back there in the safety.
Josh is playing well. Hey, Will Walker's playing well for us.
Will's playing really good. Got to come up with a pick the other night.
He sure did. I think Matthew Murley is a guy who's going to really start to emerge at safety. He's really coming along. And Micah and Major Quinn at the corners have been really good so far for us this year. But I got just as much confidence in Nolan Canoy and Blunt Blackledge. Behind them, you have Will Heron and Gray Thompson. And, I mean, so that's a pretty good little receiver room right there.
Yeah,
corner room.
Corner room, it really is. I mean, you're talking about some guys that are quick. And the thing that I've seen so far this year, and of course we're only 3 games in, but these guys like to hit.
Yes.
When they see that receiver catch the ball, say on a slip screen, they're looking and they're gang tackling, and it's hard to call a play at prep this year with just mentioning one guy's name in on the tackle.
Yeah, and that's what we kind of demand of our defense, and that's one thing that our defense does really, really well is run to the football, and that's just something that we preach every day, every week. Now, a little disappointed in the way that we tackled last week. We missed a bunch of tackles, but at the end of the day, we knew now we had something to kind of really come back to practice and hang our hat on, getting better at, which we did yesterday. But you're going to have that. That was a very athletic team, And
A lot more than a lot of people gave him credit for being.
Yes, and when you play against really good athletes, sometimes you're going to miss some tackles. Now, obviously, we're not making excuses, and we're going to get better and get that corrected. And we're going to have an opportunity to make a bunch of tackles this week. So I hope we got better.
Well, that Raider style of ball, if it's still the same, and of course, there's no secrets between the coaching staffs this week with Joseph Lamb on the other side over there. Very quickly, Micah Stallworth, is he a kid that could also run the football offensively if he had to?
Yeah, he does get a few reps in practice at tailback. So I think he could run the football, and he just hasn't really had to yet.
Right.
And he's such a valuable player to us on defense.
Oh yeah, he's a great cover kid.
Yep. And like I said, we're for the most part we're a 2-platoon football team, and I think probably better the more we can stay that way.
Well, I've nicknamed the running backs Thunder and Lightning because you've got Big Leg Womack and then you've got Owen Ishii, who are both getting the job done, but they do it differently.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, they're different. I mean, Owen can, he's
a slasher.
And he's probably played running back longer than Lake has. But Lake, he's going to run it like a bull downhill. So.
Well, Coach, it's 3 games into the season, we feeling pretty good. Going to a place Friday night where we should get the win. I think that's pretty much known. But then you're going to hit a hard stretch toward the end of September and October, and hopefully we'll have you back here on Prep Talk, get another report card on those corners, because you need to tell those corners they're going to be looked at a good bit in the next 3-4 weeks.
Absolutely, and hey, that's the thing. You got to, if you're going to be good at it, you got to have a very short memory. Both when you do something good and if you do something bad, because we preach to them all the time. That's the next play. That's the most important play.
Coach Matt Butts joins us here on Prep Talk, and as we get ready for the Lamar Raiders, the game will be at Lamar, and I understand the start time has moved back to 7 o'clock?
Back to 7 o'clock.
Good.
Yes.
I like those 7 o'clock games.
So do I.
If you're on the road, you really like them.
Yes, sir.
Well, we're getting ready for the Lamar Raiders, and we want you to keep it right here because we got a lot coming up on Prep Talk. Got some coaches that you're going to hear from. Coach Romano's going to be around, so we'll get his take on what's going on at Jackson Prep. And we hope that you stay tuned here to Prep Talk as we roll on and get ready for the Lamar Raiders Friday night at 7 o'clock.
Southern Ag Credit has been financing life outside the city limits for over a century. Whether it's helping families own land they can grow with, or farmers manage the land they grow on. Southern Ag Credit specializes in financing life outdoors. Let us finance your rural dream. Visit us online at southernagcredit.com.
You haven't had good chicken until you've had Super Chicks. Super Chicks is made with 0 preservatives, 0 phosphates, and 0 dyes. There are many sauce options and a fresh new frozen custard every week. Everything is made 100% cooked to order, so it's very fresh. There's also many fry options such as salt, rosemary pepper, sweet, and Cajun. And don't let me forget the loaded fries. Super Chicks is a great place for prep friends and family to connect after events. And it's so good.
Jennifer Mooneyham and the staff at For the Family Healthcare provide personalized healthcare for all ages in a comfortable environment. With a new address at 112 Lake Vista Place in Brandon near Community Place Retirement Home. It is convenient to residents in both Madison and Rankin counties. Health services include anything from wellness checks to the treatment of acute and chronic illnesses. Visit For the Family Healthcare for all of your healthcare needs. For the Family Healthcare, 112 Lake Vista Place, Brandon, Mississippi.
Hello, I'm Jason Womack with Womack Auto Sales in downtown Brandon.
We've been here for 25 years serving the community, and we plan on being here for another 25 years.
Carrying the Womack in Brandon, I was looking for a Tahoe, walked in, the folks were good to me. Hey, look how I ended up leaving. New Tahoe.
Womack's Auto Sales helped me finance the truck of my dreams.
Come out and take a look at our new facility and meet our staff.
Take exit 56 to downtown Brandon. And remember, at Womack's, your job is your credit.
Welcome back to this 4th edition of Prep Talk, a new format, new place of doing it, using a lot of the Jackson Prep students who also work on JPTV to run cameras, sound, lights, etc. And of course, Peter Downing is directing tonight's show. Ryan Groby will be doing every other week when Peter's not producing. So a good new format, and although I kind of do miss the meal that came with it.
Yeah, that was
nice. Xander Romano joins us now, who obviously was on the baseball staff with us last year and on the football staff this year. And we'll talk about football in a minute, but every season is special. I thought last year's was special because it had to be. I mean, you got a guy like Will Gibbs, and you want to win it all for Will. He's throwing BBs every night. But until we go down and eat from the sacrificed hog at your parents' house on the Gulf Coast, I really didn't know what we were going to do. But it seemed like when we come out of that Gulf Coast trip every spring, we not only start playing better, I think we get to know each other better, and we start relying on each other and backing each other up. It's just a great situation.
Yeah, we figure out who we are as a team. Just in the pitching aspect, we typically go 4 starters up until that point, getting into conference play that follows after spring break. We're just trying to figure out what role everybody has on the team. And last year was a special year. They're all unique in their own way, but it was a fun ending for sure.
Well, I kind of stood around your dad where the hog was most of the night, but the players were really relaxed. They got fed great, and it looked like to me they were just having fun.
Yeah, it's just another opportunity for us to get to know each other, for the players to to get that different type of bond. I talked to them a lot about. You remember the games, but the things that I kind of remember most is the bus trips, and when you're staying in hotel rooms like that, there's little side things that make a lot of good memories.
Right. You had a special year because, like I said, you knew what Will Gibbs was going to do. You were developing Connor Griffin to come along, but there was that big question mark on the third starter for most of the conference season until about halfway through, and then maybe even into the playoffs. We didn't know.
Well, Buzz also had to deal with a little bit of an injury. He kind of had to work through to get healthy on the back end, and we had Jagger coming back, who was also coming off an injury from football season.
Right.
So we were a little light on the back end of our rotation, but. We talk to the guys that are on the pitching staff, and when the opportunity comes, because there's really not a lot of innings out there when you have somebody like Gibbs leading the way on Tuesday nights, is to take advantage of every opportunity that you get.
Every year in every sport, it seems like somebody steps up that you don't expect to step up. You think he's a good player, good athlete. We're clicking along, and all of a sudden, this young man by the name of Ford McDaniel comes out of the bullpen and is throwing strikes. Tell me about him.
Yeah, so that's something that's kind of we've used a lot. A lefty out of the pen. We like that a lot in the past few years. It really started with Bryson Weeks a few seasons ago.
Yeah, sure did.
I
remember
more.
That.
I don't know how many seasons that is back now, but a nice little changeup because we mostly have some power, right-handed arms, and you come in with a change of pace with the lefty that adds a little bit of. Issues with the run game and being able to control that, and just a different angle that we're coming from, and it throws hitters off, especially in a 7-inning game. There's only so many outs that you have out there, and if your starter can get you 5 innings and you have a change of pace for 2, it's tough for a lineup to adjust to that. And Ford did a great job where. The biggest thing, and I know it sounds simple, is just fill up the strike zone. We have good defense behind them. And he was able to throw 3 pitches for strikes, which he tried to make the game simple.
And when Cy Craig got hurt, it only made him mad.
Yeah.
And the rest of the state, was the recipient of that. He had to have been the hottest hitter in baseball.
Yeah, no, that was awesome to see. He was for somebody like Cy, who was in the discussion for that that third starter in the rotation, and was a big part of our starting lineup hitting and playing outfield for us. To have an injury from a senior leader like that, it really hurt him because he just wanted to be out there and make a difference for his team. And we really had to. Not necessarily be careful with him, but almost let him know, hey, it takes time with the specific injury that he had with his hand, and shoot, he got back in that lineup and was just a huge spark for us, and nobody can get him out.
Nope, won a lot of games.
Yeah, he plays the game with the high level passion. That's fun to coach.
He sure does. All right, we're going to Lamar on Friday night. Coaches have a camaraderie. And no bigger camaraderie than Jacob Land had with this coaching staff. Is that does he have a leg up on this year's coaching staff because he knows what we're going to do, or is it going to be tough for him because we've got a new head coach and he doesn't know what we're going to do?
I wouldn't say necessarily anybody's got a leg up. There's going to be we're competitive as coaches, just like our players are. So there's an added edge of knowing the guy and knowing the type of coach he is. We want to come out victorious because of that. And he spent some time in MRA as well. It's a program that we're obviously very familiar with.
Very familiar.
Yes. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic because there's a looking at the team, there's a blend of his own stuff and a little blend of some stuff that he's learned at MRA, and then he'll probably throw some stuff that he's learned from here at Prep too. So I wouldn't say anybody's got a specific advantage, but it's just whoever comes out and plays. How
healthy are we right now?
Overall healthy, we got some good news with Coco. The knee injury, wasn't as serious as it may have appeared. But overall, getting Lassiter back is going to help add some depth to both our offense and defensive side of the football. But as a total, it's we've been very fortunate to stay pretty healthy throughout the season. Just your normal bumps and bruises that come along with the season.
Now you're dealing with the wideouts, right? Mm-hmm. All right, and we've got. I'm going to throw a word at you. We've got a bevy of wideouts. Yeah. We got a lot of kids that could play that position. How are you feeling about your group?
We're getting better. The biggest thing that I try to instill in them is just confidence. Confidence in their ability. Confidence in the game plan that we're calling. We have a new offense. It's 3 different offenses in 3 years. So there's a learning curve that comes with that. But we're getting better each day. They're getting to understand the nuance of what Coach Goodwin's expecting, and we've been performing these last 3 games that we've gone out and played.
Yeah, and we've seen the reemergence. I almost fell off my chair when the play was run of using a tight end. Yeah. And Owen McCraney, has made some big catches. He's a big target to look at for Paxton to throw to.
Yeah, so our wide position, our tight end position with Owen, and then also Peyton Puckett, who comes in for him as well, is one of our better mismatches that we have against an opposing defense with the amount of size, and they're both very athletic, have good hands, and can run with the football after the catch. So it's just a mismatch that we love to take advantage of. So we'll have them and a 2 tight end set like we saw in the Heritage game, but we're able to do a lot of things because we can stay in the same 11 personnel group but run different formations because of their athleticism for what they can do.
Speaking of athleticism, you cannot have an interview and talk about Jackson Prep football without mentioning number 11, Will Upton, who I think may be the best player in the MAIS. But there is a danger here, Xander, that he's so valuable in a lot of different places and could get hurt or something in a lot of different places, but he doesn't seem to mind.
Well, he does. The thing about Upton too is that you probably don't see. He does a really good job of taking care of his body outside of what you see on Friday nights, whether that's in the weight room with Coach Brewer and Coach Burke, how he's dealing with rehab and certain nicks and bruises, and our guys they take the weight room serious, they take our conditioning program serious, and that really pays dividends for them throughout the year to get them to a point where they can consistently perform week in and week out.
He made a catch at the end zone last Friday night that probably 9 out of 10 wide receivers wouldn't make, and that is where he doubled back, came back to the ball because the ball was rolling thrown.
So it's you have to adjust. You have to get off the line of scrimmage. You have to run your route correctly, and then read the ball once it's in the air. And Upton does a great job. He has a certain ability to kind of read the flow of the game, read the flow of defenses while the play's going on, and he's able to get in open spaces to make the play a lot easier for him. And he's not the biggest of fellows, but he plays a huge role for us just in taking some of those hits. He's able to kind of I kind of call it like dead in his body, where his body goes dead a little bit, and the hit isn't as tough
impact
on
as it
him.
could be.
And he's a very has a lot of nuance in the way he plays the position, and that helps him out a lot.
Well, him and William Laird are having a really good start to this season, and William Laird comes out of nowhere last year and starts catching the football.
Yeah, no, Laird's a big target on the outside. He's a great high point catcher, deep ball kind of threat too, but also can run with the football. We just kind of haven't been in that situation yet where we run some of those now screens or tunnel screens yet. But they do a good job of creating space through the size of their body, and has good hands. It's just a competitor.
Do you think coaches have a tendency to save some plays back in the vault before they play somebody really they want to really beat?
Yeah, every coach, is building, as the season goes on, and there'll be plays that we work, throughout the season in practice that we may, not run until week 8 or week 10, and that's part of it. Not to show your entire hand while you're going, but we're just building from it, and there's. We have a pretty large offensive playbook for a high school program. That I've experienced. It's very similar to some things that I ran in college actually, and it's being able to read certain defenses throughout the route, and your route will change depending on where the safety is or where the corner, or maybe an outside back or something like that. So one route can really turn into 3 or 4
Several
or 5.
different, right,
yeah, so,
right.
And it puts a lot of pressure on our quarterback, and Paxton's done a great job.
Yeah, he really has. Well, we'll be at Lamar tonight, and you talk about it now. In the past, I haven't seen them this year. They've been a pass-happy team, so we'll see what they do to us tonight.
Yeah, so they do like to throw the football. I will say this, that they're going to be one of the bigger, if not the biggest team up front size-wise with their offense and defensive line. So it's going to be a good test for us. But, the last few weeks with Heritage and then St. Joe has been a good kind of stepping stone for us. That defensive front last week was huge. And, our offensive line's getting better each day of practice, each Friday. And, that's going to be the core of our offense, as well as our offensive line works, is how far we'll go. So,
Xander Romano, who is on the sideline on Friday nights as a wide receiver coach and also one of the pitching coaches for Jackson Prep baseball, and we'll see him later on in the spring. We will take a timeout and be back with more in a moment on Prep Talk.
The Rogue includes an in-store support of clothing, sportswear, and furnishings. They also provide made-to-measure services for suits, sport coats, pants, and shirtings. They have 3 in-house tailors to provide any alterations suitable for your clothing needs.
The Rogue has been dressing men and families in Jackson for over 50 years. Owned by a prep graduate, the Rogue supports Jackson Prep. Come by today and see the latest trends.
Located at 4450 I-55 North Jackson, or visit our website at therogue.com.
Hi, Chuck Smith here from Smith Brothers Body Shop. Smith Brothers has been proudly serving the Jackson metro area since 1946. We consider you to be our friend to ensure the best experience possible. If you've chosen a body shop in the past because they were right around the corner and had a bad experience, or you've been treated poorly elsewhere, come see what a difference quality service can make at Smith Brothers Body Shop. Call us at 601-353-5217. At Smith Brothers, you're more than a number. Smith Brothers Body Shop, the best from us to you.
Visit your local Dunkin' at 403 Riverwind Drive in Pearl.
Prep runs on Dunkin'. Get it? That's good.
Part of the enjoyment for me is interacting with patients.
I feel like we form a close bond with the patient as they're going through their ailment, their surgery, and their recovery.
As well as the new building, we now have our own physical therapy and our own surgery center.
I think sometimes you take for granted how vulnerable patients are. Enormous amount of trust they're putting in us to do the right thing.
You want the people you're operating on to trust you, you want to become friends with them, and you want them to have a good outcome.
Here at Capital Ortho, we look forward to seeing you and treating you.
Welcome back. At a lot of schools you have kids that are athletes and you have kids that do other things, whether it be drama or art or technician, whatever. Here at Jackson Prep, we have kids that do both. As a matter of fact, some of the kids that are on the football field tonight also are a part of JPTV here at Jackson Prep and are involved in interviews and putting these shows together and editing and all that goes with putting a show like this together. Well, the lightning part of our running back duo, Thunder and Lightning, Owen Ishii, had a chance to catch up to some of those athletes this week and talk to them about it on Prep Talk.
Hey, I'm Owen Ishii, and today I'm interviewing some of the athletes on the broadcast team. Up first, we have William Walker. William, what all sports do you play?
I play basketball, football, archery, and golf.
Okay, and how has your experience been on the broadcast team so far?
It has been great. I really love the adrenaline of just the day when we produce the show and putting together the segments. I've really learned a lot about videography, and I just really enjoy the class.
Do you think your teamwork in your sport and the teamwork in broadcast media have anything in common?
I definitely think they do. It's kind of like game day when you're up there getting ready for your show. Everything's kind of just stressful, but you kind of just have to lock in and do your part, and then if you do your part, then the show turns out well.
Yeah. Next up, we're here with Livy Matthews. Livy, what sports do you play?
I'm a varsity cheerleader.
And how's your experience with the broadcast been so far?
It's been really fun. I feel like I've already learned a lot, and it's only in the 4th week of it, and I like it a lot.
Do you think cheering and broadcast have anything in common?
I feel like with cheer and broadcast, you have many like set jobs. Like, for instance, like with cheer, you have to do correct motions and have to know how to stunt and tumble. And with broadcast, you have to know a lot. You each go through each role a lot, and titles and how to video and everything like that.
We're here with Anders Morgan. Anders, what sports do you play?
I play soccer and I'm a pacer.
And how's your experience with the broadcast program so far?
It's been great. Made a lot of new friends, taught me a lot of life lessons, great lessons in the studio and out of the studio, and it's really fun.
And do you think being an athlete helps you in any way in the program? Like maybe gives you an advantage?
Yes, very much so. But don't play a sport. That doesn't mean that you cannot be in broadcast. It just helps a lot sometimes with connections and whatnot. But usually there's someone in here that can hook you up with someone if you need to.
Right. Thanks, Anders.
It's a big fan.
We're here with Trey Welch. Trey, what all sports do you play?
I really only play football, and that's about it.
And how's your experience with the broadcast program so far?
I've liked it a lot so far. I mean, the first time I didn't realize what I was really doing until the day of the thing, and at that point I was trying to do the teleprompter. And if you look at the first show, you see everybody stumbling. That's probably because of me. So.
Do you think being an athlete gives you an advantage in some situations on the broadcast team?
Yeah, because I know all the coaches and everything, so if a coach needs to talk to or something like that, I can go talk to the coaches or whatever, for football, because I only play football. Pretty good friends with all the coaches, like everybody is. So, I mean, really, that's about the only advantage I can think of.
All right, thanks, Trey. Welcome. Here with Duncan Matthews. Duncan, what sports do you play?
I play baseball and football at Prep.
And how's your experience with the broadcast so far?
With the broadcast team, it's been awesome. You know, I've got to learn a lot of things, including some leadership qualities, and being able to get in front and behind the computer with a lot of different people and build some really good friendships. So it's been awesome the past 2 years.
Do you think being an athlete has helped you in the broadcast program?
You know, yeah, I do think there's some qualities that I've learned with being an athlete. You know, definitely this year being a senior and knowing the people that have come into this broadcast team and the new people that they've had to learn a lot of new techniques and a lot of new things, and just overall how to be able to do the whole broadcast thing. So me being able to teach them and for them to know the program and know how to be able to be compatible with it is a big thing for me, and just allowing them to be able to learn new things.
All right, thanks, Duncan.
Welcome.
Here with Wells Jordan. Wells, what sports do you play?
I play basketball and tennis.
Wells, how are you liking the program so far?
I really enjoy basketball. We've been getting some stuff done recently. Coach Wise loves making us play all summer, and so that's been fun to do. And recently, you know, being able to film some stuff that has to do with basketball, I've been able to use my knowledge of basketball and my knowledge of filmmaking to, you know, combine, and it's really enjoyable.
Good.
Yeah.
And do you think being an athlete gives you an advantage in the broadcast program?
Yeah, I think for sure. I think it gives you a new outlook on, you know, what you're filming and knowing the people you're filming and how you're going to film them. It all works together.
Thanks, Wells.
You're welcome.
We're here with Bennett Herring. Bennett, what sports do you play?
I play football, tennis, golf, and track.
And how's your experience with the broadcast program so far?
It's been pretty fun. It's definitely different than anything I've ever done. I do enjoy it a lot. I get to do different jobs. They're all pretty cool. And just a bunch of cool people.
Do you think being an athlete gives you an advantage in the broadcast program? Like maybe helps you out in some certain situations?
I would say definitely it does. Whenever you're on high pressure scenarios, it'll give you an edge over some other people in the class. But I mean, y'all work as a team, so it's good to have other athletes in the class, I guess, because y'all are all used to that environment.
Right, like you get teamwork building and stuff. So yeah,
a lot of teamwork going on.
Thanks, Bennett.
Thank you.
As parents, we want our kids to choose the best path. At Jackson Prep, we'll have a community surrounding your child and helping your child have the confidence and skills to not just choose the right path, but to run it. Throughout their life, they'll face endless choices. That doesn't change, but they will.
The Tire Depot, with locations on Old Fannin Road in Brandon and on Terry Road in Byram, they're your neighbors and they appreciate your business. More than just a tire store, they offer alignments, brakes, tune-ups, oil changes, shocks, struts, leveling kits, and a whole lot more. They are family owned and operated. All of their techs have 20 years or more of experience. The Tire Depot, owned and operated by a Jackson Prep family.
There are all kinds of letters we need to remember, like ABC, ESPN. But here are some letters you need to remember as well. GAF. That is the best roofing products on the market today, and that's why David Wilbanks and Elite Roofing use GAF. When you deal with Elite Roofing, you know you are receiving the best product, best installation, and best warranty in the market. Call Elite Roofing at 601-856-9426. So when it comes to your roof, you are the letters ABC.
Visit Eric Stallworth at Acura of Jackson, 828 Adcock Street, Ridgeland, Mississippi, 601-978-2228.
Jackson Healthcare for Women is Mississippi's premier provider of comprehensive OB/GYN care with extensive experience in the latest surgical techniques and services for women, including cool sculpting, Mona Lisa Touch, ideal protein, robotic surgery, pelvic floor dysfunction, and more. Our award-winning physicians are accepting new patients and are eager to care for you. Same-day appointments are available. Call us at 601-936-9190 or visit our website to learn more. Jackson Healthcare for Women, inspired by you.
Welcome back to Prep Talk. The first week we had Coach Lauren Markle from the volleyball team on, and I had a chance to talk to her about this season and what she expected to happen this season and some of the players that would stand out. But here on Prep Talk tonight, we're going to go a little bit deeper into that aspect with Thomas Turner, who did an interview for Prep Talk about the volleyball team. I want to remind you, you can catch their matches on JacksonPrep.live. It's either on channels 1, 2, or 3, probably 2 or 3. But check them out when you get a chance, Jackson Prep Volleyball. And now here's Thomas Turner's cut on the volleyball team with Coach Markle.
Good evening. I'm Thomas Turner. Joining me is Jackson Prep Volleyball head coach Lauren Markle. Coach Markle, thanks for being here.
Yes, thanks for having me.
This is your first year at Prep. How's your experience been so far?
So far, I've absolutely loved Prep. Every week I feel like is a new adventure. I'm definitely never bored here. The girls and the team have been so welcoming. I didn't deal with any issues at first coming in. Everybody kind of bought in. We got to work. We started practicing. And as far as teaching, because I am on the other side and being a new teacher, everybody on staff has been really welcoming and making sure that I'm good, you know. And I can really appreciate that. Like, I feel like people actually care. They're not just asking me. They want to know, do you have everything you need? Are you okay? How are you doing this week? And it's just nice to have a family, a community that checks in on you.
What made you want to coach volleyball?
So I didn't know I wanted to be a coach. I knew I always loved playing volleyball and played other sports growing up, but it was honestly my college coach at the University of Montevallo when I was playing there my senior year. She just, I don't know what she saw in me or what exactly happened to spark her to come up to me and say, hey, you know, you should look into coaching or pursue coaching as a career. And I said, are you talking to somebody behind me? I had coached club starting when I was 18 at a local club in Alabama, but never thought about doing it as a career. And so she goes, well, you know, there's a graduate assistant position open at Mississippi College, and I know the coach there. She goes, would you want to apply? and I said, well, do I just coach? She goes, no, you could earn your master's degree. I was like, oh, okay. Like, I really hadn't thought about being a graduate assistant, any of that. And she was the one that approached me, and I applied. I did an interview over the phone, and thank God that man hired me. And I ended up in Clinton, Mississippi, and I've stayed in Mississippi ever since.
You've coached multiple games for the team this year. How do you like the team?
I really like this team. They have a lot of fight, and they really care, and they really want to win. They go at every game, every point, methodically, thinking about what they need to do, what can they do to contribute, and you know, I always know, no matter what the score is, and I've learned this early on, that they're going to keep trying. It doesn't matter what the score is, and they have come back in sets that they were really down in, and to me as a coach, it's a relief, because I'm like, okay, they're going to keep playing no matter what's going on, and that says a lot about a team that they're not going to quit. These prep girls are going to keep fighting till the ref says the game is over.
In your opinion, what makes a player stand out?
Definitely how they respond to how the game's going or how practice is going, and in a positive way, meaning like their body language, you know, are they high-fiving their teammates? Are they, you know, staying involved, or are they shutting down and not communicating? So I really enjoy players that look like they love playing volleyball, that look like they're having a good time and want to be out there. And then it's a bonus if they're really good at it too, you know, if that makes sense. So I really like players that enjoy what they're doing out there.
How do you feel about the rest of the season?
I feel great about the rest of the season. I think I was looking, we're probably about halfway already, which is crazy. I know we still have all of September and almost all of October now, but I still have the same goal. When I came here in the summer and after, I think it was after tryouts or the first practice, I said, we can make it to the state championship, like in my mind. I made that up in my brain in that moment after seeing them, and I still have that same goal. Is the season always gonna have all ups? No, but that goal for me, for them, doesn't change.
Thank you so much for your time, Coach. I really appreciate you sitting down and talking with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect.
Sometimes opportunities begin where the road ends, where pavement fades to gravel and the sounds of the city scatter in the breeze. This is life outside the city limits, made possible by financing from Southern Ag Credit. From farmstead to homestead and everything in between. Apply for your rural loan today at southernagcredit.com.
At Community Bank, we're always by your side. From keeping your money secured to making payments a breeze.
Hey, do you have a medium in the pantry? Right here. It's $24. Enjoy the show.
And giving you peace of mind when you need it most. So you can get back to enjoying the show. Community Bank, a bank like no other.
There are all kinds of letters we need to remember, like ABC, ESPN. But here are some letters you need to remember as well. GAF. That is the best roofing products on the market today, and that's why David Wilbanks and Elite Roofing use GAF. When you deal with Elite Roofing, you know you're receiving the best product, best installation, and best warranty in the market. Call Elite Roofing at 601-856-9426. So when it comes to your roof, you are the letters ABC.
Slava's Grill, open weekdays from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. and on Saturdays from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. And make sure to check out the lunch menu.
Welcome back to Prep Talk as we get ready for the Lamar Raiders. It is over there Friday night. It is a 7 o'clock kickoff, so try to make the trek down I-20 if you can and come out and watch the Patriots. And joining us now in Prep Talk is Will Crosby, who is the athletic director here at Jackson Prep, and I say it all the time, I've worked with a bunch of them. You're the best I've worked with.
Oh, thank you.
You know, I would consider you an even keel kind of person until I saw us win the overall in basketball last year, and I saw more emotion out of you than I've ever seen, but it was a special day, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was. I mean, that was, you know, when you're a member of Jackson Prep Athletics in some form or fashion, you're going to have some special days every year, but that one really was. I mean, it was a special run for both teams, winning the Class State Championship the week before, and then both teams winning the overall. It was just a culmination of a really special season for both of those teams, for two really special groups of seniors, and
Yes.
and that's where a lot of my excitement came from. Is I was so happy for those teams, but specifically those seniors.
And, you know, maybe the girls might have been talked about in the state championship, but the boys would not have been back before the season started, and neither probably would have been talked about in the overall. And to be able to do that was very special, and to do it in that setting made it really, really nice. But, you know, there was a lot of good parts to your job last year. I've been caught saying myself, man, I wish I had Will's job every now and then, you know, on the field. But it was a special year because we had the basketball and we had success in baseball, obviously. But there were those other sports that we had to have success in order for you to go buy more plywood to put on the All Sports Trophy board out there. What does it mean as an athletic director to sit back and watch your program do that?
Well, it means a lot. And you know, one thing that I talk about a lot around here and to our coaches and administration is, you know, our goal is to win in Jackson Prep Athletics in anything, any game. That's our goal, and we make no apologies about that. But something that really transcends that is our purpose. And our purpose is to do our best to create good experiences for our student athletes that have chosen to be part of the athletic program. And if we've done that, if they can graduate here and look back and say that, you know, I'm a better person for being a part of Jackson Prep Athletics and I had a great experience, then we've done our job and we've served our purpose, which is certainly a higher calling than just the winning part.
You know, to your point, Josh White came in last year. I mean, he really came in from far off lands unknown from here. And I had a chance to talk to him during baseball season, and he said the transition was really great for him, and he understood what you were just talking about winning. And boy, is he having a year this year, and we're just so glad to have him. He's one of those kids. He didn't start here, but he came in here midway and is going to have a great experience here.
Yeah, and that just speaks to what, you know, the experience, right? And of course, it's easy when you have guys like Josh come in. Josh is such a great kid and very well liked, and so he fit in right away. And you're right, he's had a great year last year. He's having an even better year this year, his senior year.
All Sports Trophy is something that really comes to mind to me every baseball season because we're always right there. It's always either us and JA or us and MRA, and last year was 4 of the schools pretty close. Hartfield's jumping in now. But to know that we've won it every year but one, there's always that guy in the stands going, well, what was the year we didn't win it? Or who beat us that year? But to win it every year but one year, it's just almost unheard of, because you've got so many different teams and so many different athletes. But what you were talking about is this camaraderie and theory about what we do here is we win. And the proof is on that board out there. You ought to turn that board around and have it facing on Lakeland. but that all sport's pretty important, isn't it?
It is, yeah, certainly. I mean, it's a competition, right? And there's a winner. And so if we're going to be involved in that competition, we're going to do everything we can to win it.
One of the things that drives a lot of ADs crazy, especially in scheduling, is weather. Especially when you got football and you got tennis and golf. Well, they're all outside except for basketball. You have done an outstanding job of positioning Prep with the facilities they need to continue playing, even if it rains. Case in point, yesterday, we get a downpour right before the girls' varsity softball game. 15 minutes later, we're playing softball.
Yeah.
That's got to make you feel good.
Well, it does, and it makes me feel good for the players, that they don't have to miss games. We don't have to move games to other campuses. They don't have to miss practices. So yes, we're very fortunate. And look, that has nothing to do with me. That has everything to do with the support of our families that they give this school and our ability to have the facilities that we do because of that support.
Well, something I think you did have a hand in was one of the best scoreboards we've ever had here since I've been here, and there wasn't a light bulb out on Friday when I was looking at it. So, but tell us about how, and the sound system. I think I was over Canes or something getting something. I heard it great. I mean, it was fine. That thing booms. Talk to me about how that came about.
Well, so that the video board and the sound system we have are the existing ones that we've had for quite a while, but we do have one. We have ordered and we have a new sound system coming in, new video board. The ship date is somewhere between September 29th of this month and early October. So our hope is, and there are always so many factors that can go into installation, right? Shipping and installation. But our hope is to have all of that installed, the video board and the new sound system installed by playoffs of this year.
Well, if that system is as good as Bobby says it is, and I can hear our old system over at Canes, that means Pearl probably going to be able to hear our sound system when we're playing.
Well, it's going to be exciting, and with the new video board and the new sound system, and it is a top of the line audio system. It's going to give athletic events that take place in that stadium just a new sound, look, and feel, and it's going to create an even better atmosphere.
Well, Jimmy Duncan's not going to know who he is when everybody hears about there. He's a big part of that. Let's talk a little bit about this new format at Prep Talk. Where this is the first year, 10 years maybe, that we've not done it from a restaurant, but Bobby has worked really hard at putting the class together and the JPTV together and putting those kids in those positions. Peters Downing is producing today. Ryan Groby will produce on the week that he's not here. So they switch off. But I don't know many schools, A, that have an hour show on Wednesday night about their school, or B, have the facilities and the equipment to do it with.
Well, you're right. And again, it goes back to us being very fortunate to have the facilities that we have, to have the support from the families that support us, to be able to do things like this and to get our students involved. I know they do such a good job, and it seems like they have a great time with it. But they're fantastic. These students they impress me every day on what they can do. So this new format, I think, is great. It gets them even more involved, and anytime you can get the students more involved, that's always a good.
Over the years, I've appreciated the fact that you let people do their jobs, and that's really not very popular these days, seems like.
Well, that's true, but it's easy to let people do their jobs when you've got good coaches, and the key to coaching is. Number one is you've got to love these kids. Yeah. You've got to love the students that you coach, and That's what we have. We have coaches that are in it for the right reason, and they love they love their students, and so that makes it a lot easier when you have that. So.
Well, I've heard it said a lot, and it's true. If you go back and divide in the number of hours that a coach puts in to what he does or she does, based on their base salary now, because again in college the base salary is out the window, but you're in high school, so there's a base salary. The cost per hour drops tremendously, and so you're right, you have to have a love for it, and I know that you have a love for what you do, and it shows through in the success. And if I were you, I'd be purchasing another piece of plywood for out there, because I think we're going to do it again this year.
Well, I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Will Crosby, our athletic director here at Jackson Prep, joining us tonight on Prep Talk. We are getting ready for the Lamar Raiders, and want to remind everyone again now that this is a 7 o'clock game and will be 7 the rest of the way.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep.
The MHSAA has not made that ruling. They're still going deep into October with 7:30. So MAIS starts at 7, and it's down at Lamar. So make that trek down I-20 and come enjoy and watch the Jackson Prep Patriots beat Lamar Friday night. We're going to take a timeout and be back with more in a moment.
If you're thinking about buying or selling your home, call Robin Harrigal at 601-672-4101. Is your family growing and you need to find that perfect home? Or are you becoming empty nesters and you're looking to downsize your home? Call Robin Harrigal at 601-672-4101. With over 20 years of real estate experience, Robin can help you with all your real estate needs. From buying your first home to purchasing your dream home, call Robin Harrigal at 601-672-4101.
Since 1968, Ewing & Ray has been leading the way as the area's premier foundation repair company. With our state-of-the-art equipment, licensed professional engineers, and certified technicians, we are able to ensure the right solution with the best warranty in the business. Whether you have drainage problems, need foundation repair,